with reports from the news, North Lawn at the White House. Hey, Mark, good morning.
William and Dana, good morning to you both. The president, as he just said, is thrilled with the idea of being able to save taxpayer money, paying down the debt, and potentially giving money back to taxpayers. But at this point, no final decisions made. This is something still up for discussions. Meantime, Republicans up on the Hill cheering these latest spending cuts, while Democrats warned that they could risk Americans' public safety, their financial future, as well as the future of government agencies overall. Today, the IRS, the Internal Revenue Service, expected to issue a number of pink slips, reports upwards of 6,000 people expected to be cut, and it comes just as tax season gets underway. The president also issued an executive order Wednesday cutting federal spending on programs meant to help migrants who are now in the U.S. illegally.
That makes perfect sense right there. Why in the hell would we be putting back into these? Why would Biden have these programs set up, or the Democrats at all? Why would you ever make programs for illegal immigrants to have housing and have food and have job searching facilities helping them get employment just to acclimate to the country? They have these programs that they would put the illegal immigrants through to kind of acclimate them into the country. That costs millions of dollars to do, of taxpayer money. And when they talk about taxpayer money, I just think of all the times they told us that reparations is impossible because we don't deserve it. And it was so long ago. And nobody who's alive today owns slaves. But everybody has such a connection with these illegal immigrants. And it's troubling to me because we are the people who've been in your face all this time, Democrats. And to get the treatment that we get from you, and the worst part of it is that some of us are oblivious to it. Some black people support you the same way they did back in the mid to early 60s. And we got to get away from this party. If we're going to do anything with ourselves, it's obvious. It's really terrible to think that Donald Trump, after 30 days, today is his 30th day in office, is doing something. And a lot of people are saying he's doing too much. He's moving too fast because we're used to our party not doing anything. We're used to little increments of what they tell us is gain. They build a statue somewhere and tell us that that's gain. It doesn't help our lives. It doesn't make our lives any better. And we accept it because we like being a part of the Democratic Party. We like being a part of that party so much that we put the Democratic Party in front of our own race, in front of our own self. We got black people up there selling us out who are supposed to be up there representing us. We got black people down here on the ground who dislike each other more than they dislike that party. They like that Democratic Party to where they argue with their friends and family because they believe what that party is telling them over what people who really love them is telling them, trying to steer them away from that and into the right direction. Why would you wait 4 years to go and sit and negotiate and talk to a president and try to get something done when the last 4 years, the president who is supposed to be your friend, the one who's friendly to us, didn't do anything for us for 4 fucking years? And then Trump comes in and that's like off time. I don't know what the caucus and them people are doing. They're chilling right now. But every time a president ass is in that seat, black people need to be their ass in a seat across from him, talking to him, negotiating, figuring out, picking his brain, especially a guy who's shaking the government up the way this guy is. We should calm down. And I don't think this is going to be worse than the system that we're living in today. It's got to free up something for us to do more than we've been doing. We have not been able to get off the bottom in this system with the Democrats' help. They've been helping us all these years and we have not come out of last place. So I'm willing to give this a try and see what Donald Trump and his folks are. They're already in there exposing the Democrats for being thieves and money missing and things they can't explain. And they don't. Why would you be locking folks out of a system? I was listening in the beginning how the Democrats were wording it, basically saying Elon Musk and a group of teenagers are in there trying to get in databases. And well, the way it's really going is Elon Musk and these employees of the government, they are employees of the government. He didn't just go pick these people up off a street corner. They have authorization like a DMV worker or a worker at the Social Security Administration or any other government agency, state or federal, that you go in, where the employees have access to the system. They have been hired by our government and are auditing under the umbrella of DOGE the systems. So you can't act like they're outsiders. You can't act like they don't belong in there, or they're sneaking in through the back door, or they got all your Social Security cards and bank account information. Yeah, most employees at places like that do. And that's all they are. And what they're doing is having access to those systems to uncover the fraud that we've been getting. We've been going through a lot of fraud in this country, and the Democrats thought it was going to go on forever. And the Republicans were playing ball with them and doing the same shit, I imagine. It's going to be some indictments. It's going to be some shit. And the Democrats are acting in desperation right now. I mean, the shit that's coming out of their mouth makes no sense. What is the big old deal? You lost the fucking election and you left a man with a super majority. What is he supposed to do? Sit on his hands like you guys do? No, he's getting busy. He's making things happen. And I can't knock it in comparison to what I've been exposed to in my years on this planet. It just seems unreal. I know some people are afraid of change, but I'm not. I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be beneficial to us. There's no way it can be as bad as it is now for us as black people. Some white people or some Latino people might be in different places economically, but we're kind of all grouped together here for the most part, as far as how we get treated, our economic opportunities, our businesses that we own. You know, in most families, there aren't any business owners in the entire family. And then in some, there may be one or two. And real storefront business owners is rare in black family. A donut shop, a clothing store, you know, a brick and mortar where people go in and spend their money. That's few and far between and very rare for black people. Why? Because it's intentional. And we keep clinging to a party who is making this possible or making this impossible.
You cannot continue to waste American taxpayer dollars on giving it to illegal immigrants, as the president has announced he will no longer do, and taking money from Americans, spending it frivolously, and then not being accountable for where that money has gone.
How can you like Biden more than Trump? And he's giving our money away to illegal immigrants. They got a $400 billion fund that they call U.S. aid. $400 billion. But they don't have no money for black Americans in the United States who are descendants of slaves. They don't have any way of fixing our life or helping us. Don't give us no cash. Fuck it. Be right with the education. Give us the opportunity to go to the colleges that we'd like to go to for free. We were held back from education. We need to catch up in that department as well. Our economics, we're lagging in every area. And nobody on the Democratic side seems to see it. I believe this would be a real wonderful opportunity for Donald Trump to just basically snuff the Democratic Party out, destroy them. They'll be off the map. He'll be getting rid of the Mexican cartel and the Democratic Party at the same time, because all he has to do, and this is what I think they're afraid of, is he has to do something for black people. And there's going to be a significant amount of blacks who are going to pretend that he didn't do anything. Oh, he didn't do anything. He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing for us. I'm going to tell you something. We cannot lie and deny what help and progress looks like. Whoever it comes from ain't important. It's that it comes, and that we need to make the most of it when it does come. And that we do keep pushing to be exclusive in these things. We're not going to just settle like everything's all good after they got all the marbles and then we're going to start playing fair. No, there is a deficit that needs to be made up. But before we make up this deficit, we need to acknowledge who the hell our friends are first. Quit sitting down breaking bread with these Democrats and they doing horrible things to us. And we are like accepting of it, and our leaders are leading us into it again and again, and they're hanging on until Maxine Waters and all those old people up there, and down there training the Jasmine Crockett's of the party, who can be a little more relatable, got jokes, speak in slang, but she's still talking that slave talk. And that slave talk ain't gonna get us anywhere. We all have to stop talking that shit. We need to knock it off. And with a congresswoman like her complaining that Elon Musk hasn't come to a DOGE committee meeting. That the man is an advisor. I can accept that. He's not a part of our government. He's an advisor to Trump. If he says some shit to Trump and Trump don't like it, Trump gonna be like, no, we're not gonna do that. If he tell Trump some shit and Trump like it, Trump be like, hey, that's a good idea. He can even take credit for it. But his advisors are his advisors. There's no goddamn way brain dead ass Biden was running this country by himself. He had advisors. At least Trump's advisor is out in the middle of the fucking floor, standing out there where we can see who it is. We don't know who was advising Biden. We don't know where he was getting his information from, or if they were even consulting with him. He was not communicating. Trump is basically saying, I told you I was going to do this when I get in office. And the motherfucker get in office and he's trying to do what he said he was going to do. When he told you he was going to do it, most of people didn't like it. Not most. The other half, the less than 50% didn't like it. They're like, fuck, anything Trump do is starting to remind me of when Obama was in. Because a lot of people on the other side hated Obama. And I was like, God, why do they hate him so much? He's doing more for them than he's doing for his own people. You know, so to speak. Not that we as people, but we kind of adopted him and shit. And, you know, you got to be careful who you adopt. Shit. He was against us, it seemed. And he was admonishing us and talking shit and teasing motherfuckers, calling their cousins Pookie and shit. No, we play like that, but not from the presidential seal, not behind that podium. We don't do that shit. And Obama just got too comfortable with it. And we are so accepting and make people feel so warm and start, you know, letting them sit at the table and eat with us like he did. And look how he do us all fucked up. So we got to start being a little slower, you know, with these folks. And these Democrats, we have got to get a divorce. We got to break this shit off.
The Department of Housing and Urban Development says it's making cuts too. HUD Secretary says it's time to show the American people this is not business as usual.
Today, we're announcing that we cut $4 million in DEI contracts here at HUD, which were supposed to be for culture transformation and mindset, outward mindset thinking and subscription services.
For immigrants. Did you hear what he just said? That's what I'm trying to tell you. They willing to bring the immigrants in and set them up to be culturally on par with most Americans so that they can navigate the society and the world out there in these United States. Like, wow, really? we got a crash course like a motherfucker. It wasn't anything like that. And they're paying millions of dollars to accomplish this. Trump's ending it. And I agree. I especially agree if some of that money could be redirected to us in our direction. We would like the money. I don't give a damn. No matter what we know in reality as far as money coming our way, we can't stop asking. We can't stop negotiating. We can't stop talking about it. And it has to be negotiated so it's not a gift and it's not a handout and it cannot be taken back. We need signatures at the bottom of a paper and that we sign and they sign and everybody understand what the deal is as opposed to them giving us something. Because if they give it to us, they can take it away. And that's what we're experiencing right now.
Warning, though, this could have impacts. We heard a letter from Senator Patty Murray who says without sufficient staff to run these programs, community and economic development projects, disaster recovery efforts, and housing across the country will be delayed and could come to a grinding halt. EPA Administrator Lee Zeldin says he's on a mission to track down billions of dollars that were either misspent or parked in accounts meant to boost liberal activists. The latest focus is on a nonprofit with ties to former...
And I don't think taxpayers should be paying any money, whether it's a nonprofit or what the fuck it is, to advance either party. That has to be done through open donations. People need to know what they're donating to, and they donate to that shit. But as a taxpayer, I don't want my taxpayer money going to advance liberal causes or conservative causes. We don't need that. They need to give us education and facts and truth. And that's how they can advance their self instead of taking our tax dollars and doing who the fuck knows what with. Well, what do you do with that many millions of dollars to advance liberal what? More than it already is.
Democratic gubernatorial candidate Stacey Abrams. The Free Beacon says the EPA is looking to where some $2 billion ended up. The Beacon writing out in their story that they have been looking into whether or not this money through the Powered Ford communities received the green energy grant, despite the fact that it was founded months earlier in late 2023 and never managed anywhere near the grant's dollar figure.
Yeah, people be watching that shit. Somebody probably blew a fucking whistle on her. They probably didn't find that shit, but they know where to look now that somebody pointed them in the right direction. And Stacey Abrams has been hanging around like barely losing or whatever the fuck they say and pumping her head up. She the one who started that when she lost the governor race in Atlanta. And she was saying that it was unfair and she was cheated. That was before Trump. She is saying that shit, and I was like, wow, that's very rare you hear a politician saying those kind of things. That's why when Trump was saying it on the national stage, it was so foreign. I was like, what the fuck is he doing? Hey, and she did that same shit. Nobody wasn't really giving her too much over it. Man, she was a close race. They were saying you're black. Maybe they did cheat you. And you know the Democrats will pull that bullshit, be gaslighting the shit out of us and having us believe we right when we're not and having us believe we're wrong when we are right. It's all fucked up. And to have friends like this, if they were friends in a human body like we are and we dealt with them as like they'd be the worst friend you had. They'd be fucking doing all kind of shit to you behind your back and you wouldn't be able to believe it. You'll be like, oh my God, people are telling me it's true. They don't give a damn about us. We are nothing but useful tools to them. Look at MSNBC and they'll start talking about, and especially this month, oh my God, and it's not been as bad as I thought, but they bring up bus boycotts and all kind of water fountains that was divided and all the boycott and civil rights and Jim Crow that was going on real heavy. And then they start talking about illegal immigrants once again. That's their way to get you going. And then they start talking about what they're going to do with that energy you just whipped up. Yeah, we're going to go bring some more illegal immigrants in and give them some more benefits. For Trump to be cutting these programs back, there is going to be a surplus. Their goal is, I think, $1 or $2 trillion of savings they're trying to find, and in the government that's just being leaked out. Seal the leak. And reappropriate that money. Do something else with it. Who would not want that? Why wouldn't both parties want to work together on that? The Democrats are mad, and I think they have good reason to be. I believe it's going to be a lot of problems. I bet a lot of people got some things built and handed to them that came on the taxpayers' dime, and that shit needs to come. We need to claw that shit back.
Abrams just this week was pretty vocal on X, saying she's no fan of these DOGE cuts. We'll look to see if this group responds to the accusation about the money being misspent. And we're also looking to see if the president talks about what it's been like as he marks 1 month in office today. Bill?
Okay, good deal, Mark. Thanks. The plate is full, and it's 9 a.m. Nice to see you, sir. Dana.
And Senator James Langford, Republican of Oklahoma, joins us now. I just want to ask you something. On that money that went to Stacey Abrams' group and was supposedly misspent, that's what the accusation is. Can Congress claw that money back?
Yeah, that becomes a challenge. You tell me if we can get enough Democrats to be able to join us in the Senate to be able to do that. The president can do that, though, with the oversight that's actually happening, and to say, how are we going to actually make sure that this is actually done? And the Department of Justice can say if this was fraudulently done. They can actually work to claw it back. It is interesting to me to be able to watch. Early days of the Biden administration, they were creating DEI programs. He was requiring all agencies to find Green New Deal ways to be able to engage.
Yeah, they sure were. Biden was trying to use the George Floyd situation to push this DEI shit real heavy. And then, now that the smoke is cleared, and here we are at the end of Biden's 4 years, he's done his entire 4 years, and black people 100% have benefited the least of all the groups that qualify of DEI, black people. So why are they harping on us to help them with this fight? Why should we help them with this fight? Why would we want to help them with this fight? Fuck DEI. Let that shit go away. And let us pick ourselves up and walk across Pennsylvania Avenue and talk to that orange person inside that office. Knock on the door and fucking go in there and have a fucking talk. And leave Al Sharpton with the Democrats. Once we break ground and we start talking to these Republicans differently for the first time, we don't want any remnants from the past. We don't want that Al Sharpton shit. We don't want any of the Democrats involved, because we're going to be talking to them as black people and not as Democrats. And that's a reasonable thing to do. And it's a smart fucking thing to do. We are black first and Democrats hopefully third or fourth or fifth, not second. It's a whole lot of other shit we can be, and Democrats is not it. We need to start our own party. We will never be a winning party, but we will have a lobby. We will be able to go to these senators with our voting block and get a lot of shit done, as opposed to giving our vote away and they don't give us anything.
And he was cutting off oil and gas production on all federal lands. Flip the script 4 years later, we're cutting government size and we're opening up American energy. Dramatic difference between side by side in first month.
Okay, so Elon Musk is the lead blocker on this play. Here he was with Sean last night on solving the deficit if possible.
I really want to emphasize to people that this is a very important point. If we don't solve the deficit, there won't be money for medical care. There won't be money for Social Security. We either solve the deficit or all we'll be doing is paying debt.
Now, I've seen a few clips of him talking alongside Trump or on other videos. And the word out now is he's the co-president. He's the shadow president. He's a fucking advisor. You can't shame and ridicule a person into not liking somebody. Oh man, they keep saying you the president. I think I'm gonna fire you. Because I don't think we're there. If the Democrats are willing to do that or think that that'll work, whatever, it just sounds so fucking petty. I mean, he got a vision and an idea. Trump is the president. He got to take that shit to Trump, and if Trump approves of it or if he can persuade him into it, Biden has been persuaded into many things with his advisors. Nobody seemed to have a problem with it. Elon Musk is the opposite of what they told us Trump was. They said he was a bad businessman. He ran every business he ever had into the ground and all these other things about Trump that are bad. Well, he went and got somebody who is a good businessman, who has successful businesses and products and companies that people drive Teslas every day. I mean, I don't have one yet, but everybody who got a Tesla, let me know what you think. Is it a quality product? Have you been on one of the missiles? I don't know. But we were so tolerant and patient with Biden, and Biden was moving his last 3 weeks in office like Trump is moving his first 3 weeks in office, signing all kind of shit, pardoning people, doing things under the cover of darkness and shit. The only difference I will say is he got his main advisor right out there on stage for everyone to see. And the Democrats are actually trying to figure out a way to get Elon Musk kicked off of his. When have you ever heard of someone in an unelected position brought in as an advisor, and they do it all the time? The oil refineries, Exxon Mobil, those big ass fucking companies and corporations, the people who sit on their board are also responsible for helping to regulate those industries. So it's done all the way around. They have always done shit like this. This one here is a little farther out there, but when have you ever had the benefit of working with the richest man on the planet? I mean, and is that something you'd shy away from because the Democrats told you to? Would you miss an opportunity to be around that kind of person, whether you like him or don't like him, but having an opportunity to have words come out of his mouth directed at you that could, I would imagine, benefit you? Would the Democrats be able to talk you out of that? Would they be able to tell you, nah, fuck Elon Musk? But if he was donating his money to them, he'd be inside and you'd be outside. So we can't listen to them. They know Elon Musk ain't fucking with them. And they know that Donald Trump is doing something different than they've ever done before. And they were setting us up with these false pardons for Liz Cheney and these people, because Biden knows these people did some shit, and he preemptively pardoned them because now they're still setting us up, making us believe that now they're attacking the DOJ and all these judicial departments, and they're going to start going after their political, like they did Eric Adams. Indicted a motherfucker they don't like. And I believe he broke the law, and I believe Stacey Abrams broke the law too, and it's going to come out. $2 billion that a nonprofit that she was a part of it went through. Man, you can do a lot with $2 billion billion would it be? You can use it for the purpose that it was sent to you. And if you didn't get away with but 8 million or 500,000, I mean, such an amount that could be, pretty life changing for an individual, but for her, it would never come up, but it might now because I think somebody telling on her. I really believe that. And Elon Musk them aren't that smart, but I do believe they got some hackers going in there, them young cats. But don't let them make you feel that these people are just random 19-year-olds that they went down to the Employment Development Department and picked up. These guys probably work for Elon Musk or work for some kind of tech companies. They brought these guys in and they hired them. They are a part of DOGE. DOGE has a subcommittee. They meet. Marjorie Taylor Greene and that Jasmine Crockett are members of it. They have a subcommittee. They talk, but Elon Musk don't want to go to the meetings. He don't have to go to the meetings. He can get anything done under DOGE that he wants to get done by going and talking to the president directly. Why would he want to be in a committee meeting, a subcommittee meeting with Jasmine Crockett over there talking crazy? Nobody wants to be irritated like that. All you got to do is, from his vantage point of his choosing, handle that shit. And she can go to that subcommittee meeting if she want to annoy people, because when they shut up and vote, her vote don't count because she is in that minority. And so far, so good for the Republicans. If the Democrats could learn nothing else but to stick together when you have super majorities so you can advance your people. But it still wouldn't benefit us no matter what good fortune we find. We get a black president. We get a super majority. We get a whole lot of things. We win the presidency more than the Republicans do. But they never do nothing for us. And they never will. And they keep telling us that the Republicans ain't never going to do it, which is true. They're not lying. But what they don't tell us is that they ain't going to do nothing for us either. It's like together they both collectively know we ain't doing shit for them. It's what the word is. And we just can't believe it. It would be hard for us to believe, especially our politicians and people who roll around with them, to believe that our politicians would really think that way of us. They'd be like, damn, it'd be kind of hurtful. I know. But we'll get past it. We've done bigger things. And that's just how I feel about it. Fuck that shit. I do appreciate Elon Musk, though, being a face out in the front. He's fucking coming out in front. What's up? He want to speak. He want to say some shit. They're scaring us. And I hear more stuff coming out of us black people than any other race. The other races is kind of kicking back, trying to figure this thing out. And remember, they don't vote in the high numbers we do. We give the Democrats high 80s, low 90s every election. And then they get mad at us for not getting them 100%. Can you imagine that? 85%, 92%, shit like that. And well, if them black people get up off their ass and support us better. No one else supports you the way black people do. We are your biggest and most loyal constituency on percentage wise. And there's no way that you guys should be as unappreciative. Don't give a fuck. Be talking shit when you can't get 100%. Who does that? You get 80% of any constituency, you winning. But not us. Ain't enough. It'll never be enough. And as soon as we realize that, we're going to walk.
It's got to be solved, or there's no medical care, there's no social security, there's no nothing. It's got to be solved. It's not optional. America will go bankrupt if this is not done. That's why I'm here.
I want you to react to that. And this is the breakdown of the money that we're hearing, okay? They're saying $2 trillion. I don't know where they get the number. Others say $1 trillion, but we'll see how it plays out. And then you'd give $400 billion back to the taxpayer, which equals $5,000 per household. And
that is the same exact number that goes to the U.S. aid every year, $400 billion or somewhere right around that neighborhood. $400 billion a year is $5,000 for each registered voting household. So that's each American voting household. And remember how they keep telling black people they don't have no money for us? So if you took that $400 billion and just only gave it to black people, look how much more money that would be. And it would be deserving. I mean, when you look at the history here, come on now. But let's say they don't. Let's just say these DOGE people do that and give it back to the taxpayers in general. That's a blessing. That's love right there. The Democrats would never do anything like that. They want to give you money in such small increments that you have to come back each month or once a week, and you gotta get your personal life opened up to them. They're invasive. They want to know what the fuck is going on over there, since they're paying you peanuts, and they want to keep you in a position where you need it so much that you'll tolerate that kind of shit. Rather than going and opening up a business and doing better, you'll tolerate that shit. Invasiveness, being nosy, just being under their jurisdiction. It's not necessary. We don't need that shit.
If you're trying to save money, does all that add up for you? Go.
First priority is actually get the debt down. Everyone wants free checks in the mail. There's no doubt about that. But we've got to be able to solve the debt and the deficit issues on that. Elon is correct in that we are going to continue to have high inflation and not be able to spend on the things that are critical for us: infrastructure, healthcare, education, national defense, if we actually continue to run this debt. And as people talk about power around the world on this, China continues to be able to influence other countries where we are not able to engage in some of those areas, even foreign policy, and be strategic about it because we're dealing with debt and deficit. Right now, we have to borrow money from China to be able to pay our own bills. That is a weak nation's future, not a strong nation's future. Let's fix that.
And that's a fact. With the 35 or $36 trillion deficit. That's ridiculous. I think our total national gross domestic product for our whole year is like 21 trillion or some shit like that. So our debt is that much more. Somebody's got to do it. That I wish the Democrats and the Republicans would work on it together, but I'm really feeling, the way we've been done, I don't trust the Democrats for shit. The way the Republicans have been responsive to us, I don't trust them for shit. But we do have to trust ourselves. We cannot disengage to the point where we're not going to go over there and sit down and talk to these people and see what we can do that will be the best resolution for our folks. It may not be what we all want. And we can't hold out until we get what we want. We're going to have to bend and negotiate and get something out of these people, because we are in the same place now that we were when we got out, and they aren't negotiating with us yet. We need to start negotiating and see what we can crack open, get some things moving in our direction.
One of the things that you've done is come up with Senator Langford's top 5 federal fumbles. We can put them up here for everybody to see. Tell me a little bit more about it, because I have a feeling this has a lot to do with sports references, and I'm not sure I can follow appropriately. So let me turn it over to you. I know what a broken playbook is.
Yeah, a broken playbook's pretty simple on this, that you're actually trying to deal with disaster relief and to be able to figure out how we're going to solve some of the problems that we have. Right now, if you look at that spaghetti map that's probably up there right now, I can't see it, but if you look at that, there are 30 different agencies that actually oversee disaster. So while President Trump has said we need to return control back to the states, if your small community is in a disaster, you have to contact 30 different agencies, have 30 different processes just to do disaster relief because of the complexities of federal government. Everything from the Department of Commerce, Small Business Administration, FEMA, Corps of Engineers, on and on and on and on. That can't be. That is just wasteful on it. Let's have.
But the United States has it set up where they want the top of the disaster command to be at the federal level. And I agree with that, but I don't think that they have to have all the resources. They just need to have the management basically in place at the federal level, and that the resources come from the states. No state is going to be better equipped to fight its natural disasters than, everybody knows what is going on in California with the wildfires. Everybody knows in Florida you got hurricanes. In the South down there they have tornadoes touch down. You would be more prepared and with more resources on hand, ready to roll, than having to get a hold of the federal government and especially multiple agencies and get that kind of thing done. So what do you think, you guys? Who do you think's lying? Is it the Democrats or is it the Republicans? Or is it both? If it's both, we need to keep on letting Trump do what he's doing. Because he's undoing some shit that they didn't want him to undo. They scream and like wet cats. I've never heard the Democrats so upset. And every election they give us to see, this is the most consequential election of our lifetime. Remember that when Biden was coming in, and I'll beat him like a drum. And they had to beat by Trump, and he did. And here they are again. And now this is the most. They just keep turning the volume up. Well, we need to reset. Somebody need to find the reset button and reset. We cannot let them trigger us the way they do as a country. For us to be running around here fist fighting each other and hating each other because the federal government isn't leading us the right way. If the federal government treated each and every member of this society, the citizens, the American citizens, with dignity and respect, then other people would follow suit. But when you see people getting treated crappy and you can see what their place is in this society and that there is no opportunity for them to get out of it, you begin to think differently about those people. Whether your feelings or thoughts are based on facts or not, your treatment of them is actually very real, and they feel it. And the United States government is the reason for the season. You know, when you're not willing to make drastic changes to accommodate a particular group of people who have dealt with so much hell in this country, and you're not willing to let them off the hook and make things start going right, hey, then it's up to us to fight for ourselves. It's up to us to get the meetings going with Trump. And I admire him right now for moving as fast as he is, because the faster he moves, the more time we have to see what the fuck he's doing. And he ain't waiting until the end of his administration to do this stuff. And that in itself is just fucking wonderful. I don't know what Biden was doing, and I know a lot of things got done up there, but we aren't privy to it. If most of us knew where our fight was going and who was benefiting from our sweat and our tears, we wouldn't fight. It make you just think differently, and that's a fact. I want you guys to get ready. That's all I can say. Just get ready. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Do not rely on the government, because they are going to pull the rug from underneath your feet and then blame the other guy. And it doesn't matter who pulled the rug. As long as the goddamn rug got pulled, somebody is going to have a problem. And it's usually going to be us. Like, comment, share, and please subscribe. And I'll see you on the next Black Popcorn.